And we are live.
I didn't know you were good. Honestly,
What? You cut out a
when
little
you
bit.
said you were moving in, I didn't know you were going to.
Yeah, I told Cog I wanted to preferably move in with him, like, before my birthday, which wasn't really a, hey, this is what I want for my birthday. That was more of a time estimate. Like, I'd prefer to have this done before, birthday and all that shit, to get the ball rolling. And he was like, no, this is what we're doing for your birthday. Fuck it. Alright. But yeah, streams up. I wonder if I have to share this to the Discord.
If you don't share it to the Discord, you know a few people's gonna come through and hang out anyway.
Exactly.
There's-
Yeah, I've just decided to download or start downloading CarX Drift Simulator because I've never streamed that. That's mainly just because it's
I heard it
just
was
a
pretty
drifting
good.
game.
I've never really played it.
Oh, it's good. Like, trust
I
me,
want to play. I want to play that online car drift game.
yeah,
I can't think of the
CarX.
name of it. Oh, is that what it's called?
Yeah, it's called CarX Drift Racing Simulator. It's just a giant online drift game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I bought it because it was cheap, good, and I've been hearing, and I heard good shit about how it handled. And yeah, they definitely have like the fucking drifting physics down. And they're coming out with a proper racing game soon.
The last time I seen, the last time I seen them actually anybody play the game, it was
Jesus fucking Christ.
Slap Train was the YouTuber.
Yeah, I've heard of Slaptrade and never watched them. All I know is he drifts his Infinity
A
G35.
lot of his content, yeah, a lot of his content is drift based content, no matter what game it is.
I don't mind drift based content, it's just more of I'm happy with what car YouTubers I do watch. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
I'm happy with what or whatever racing game content I do watch, and I don't really care often that much for drifting, and when I do I just fucking look up real life drift tournaments. Can't remember what they're fucking called. Initial drift or something.
I know what you're talking about. I used to watch that all the time
Alright, cool. I know.
because they used to have live TV tapings of the show,
I mean,
a TV tape of it.
you can still find the live streams of that shit on YouTube, but really more for just
Dude, I got so much shit on YouTube that I watch. It's not even funny.
hey, get that. Hey, mate,
Hello.
just constantly swapping your name out.
Yeah, that was just me and my friend were having fun.
Well, welcome to the stream.
Yeah, I got Joseph Staldrip on my team. I'm the strongest here.
Ugh. Actually, no, I have to end the stream now. It's no longer my birthday.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wait.
It's
12 already?
yeah, it's midnight. I can't. It's not my birthday
Uh,
anymore.
oh, yeah.
Does it?
Screw you. Fuck you. It's not your birthday anymore. You're not special anymore. Go
I
back to
was never
work.
special. Trust me, the only thing about being The only thing that's special is what
Honestly,
you
I'm
do with your life.
surprised that's still up. I got a damn birthday party to deal with.
Uh, yeah, as I said earlier on the cruise stream, yeah, my whole entire thing of me being moved in here is now I have to do something every day, which is either take care of the house, help my mom pack her shit, or search for a job.
Hmm.
And I've already applied to a lot of places here.
How's that going out so far?
Not good.
Oof.
The only places I have left are like
Well, you're
a couple of
streaming, or
places.
I'd ask where your brother lives at.
What? Huh, huh. What scoop?
I was just curious. I was gonna ask where your brother lived at, but you are streaming. So.
Uh, here, give me a second. I'll send it to you through a DM. I'll message, and I'll do the message off my phone so it won't appear on stream.
Locating the IP address.
Alright.
You better, you better not.
Whoa, out, Jamal. You don't have to pull out the 9.
Just have some random person come up to your house that you won't even think is one of your friends.
Just randomly walks up, just, hey, it's Archangel. What the fuck are you doing down here?
You know, the Joseph stalled with like, yo, how? Boy, about that part.
That's what I thought. I wasn't 100% sure, but that's
Just,
why I figured it was
just a random
still
knock, just a
in
random,
town.
just a random knocking on the door. Just, Beethoven? Oh wait, yeah, he can't hear me. Shit.
I'm
Uh,
so tempted to go outside with this Visa gift card and see how far I can flick it.
but yeah, Skip, you just follow, like, you just follow that road until it slightly curves a little bit, and his house is on that corner. But I know,
Yeah, I figured it was still in town. I just wasn't 100% sure where.
I know Divine was wanting to hang out with me too on my birthday, and I was just like, I'm not. Or he just messaged me. He was like, dude, I just got back from work. I just woke up, and I was like, dude, I'm not even sure about you coming over in the first place. Because remember, this is Cog's house. I don't control much here, or
Hmm.
anything at all.
Well, like, if I were to ask to come over, of course, I wouldn't. First, I'd see if you were doing anything, and then I'd see if it was alright with him because of it being his place after all. I wouldn't just show up out of the blue not invited, you know?
Jesus Christ.
FBI, open up!
By the way, if you're, as I said on stream, or like at the beginning of the stream, I am drinking Jack Daniels, alright? Like not a big bottle of Jack, alright?
Alright.
It's only 40 proof.
what
Or it's only
what kind of Jack Daniels? Tennessee whiskey or regular?
standard sour mash. Like Tennessee whiskey is just the standard. Either way.
More American than apple pie.
But it's only 80 proof. So it's like, yeah, it's just a casual drink. But this bottle is about 2 years old.
Oh, dry age. Is that?
It
Is
tastes
it?
like,
Jesus
it kind of
Christ.
tastes like peanut butter. It's weird.
Ew. Fermented peanut butter. Ew.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than fermented ferment.
I found peanut butter.
Mm.
My only deal with peanut butter is I hate eating it. I don't mind the taste, but I hate eating it because it sticks to the fucking roof of your mouth.
Oh, okay.
Just love the fact that I don't even really need to watch comments because it's just like the people who would comment are probably in the fucking stream. Like they're just in the VC.
As soon as I seen Happy Birthday stream, I had to jump in. I was like, oh shoot, birthday party, the fuck?
Birthday party? No, it's just me drinking my problems away.
And I count that as a birthday party. It's just a disown ice cream.
So just because it's something relevant to talk about, 2 days ago I finally got to fucking go to that Motley Crue concert.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got a video of Motley Crue's intro and it's fucking terrifying. Because it's like a pitch black stadium. Alright? Pitch black stadium, like there's a whole bunch of little phone lights of people recording. And then you just hear a storm alarm go off.
Mm.
And the news are talking, it's just like, I don't like this. This is scary. And I start, and like at the end of that fucking concert, I was coughing extremely badly. Like I was coughing bad enough to where I felt like I was gonna throw up because they used a shit ton of like smoke bomb fireworks as their
Oh.
pyrotechnics, and I breathed in a lot of that.
I thought they had to limit it. I thought they had to put it like.
See, that's what kind of bugs me about some concerts is that, like, especially when they do the pyrotechnics and crap. Because a lot of people can't stand the pyrotechnics and the smoke and shit like that.
Like, I'd be fine with it if it was, located above. So it's not
Or like
a threat
like
to the crowd or
outside.
anything.
I would. I'd be fine with it if it was like maybe 3 or 4 kind of separated out. But if
Yeah.
all of it kind of clumped together, that's a different story.
Yeah, it's just a giant fucking smoke bomb.
Smoke bomb incoming.
But hey, I got a flag.
And that's pretty nice. So
Yeah,
at the cost of you coughing to death, you get a flag.
No, they were like some of course, like standard shit that they were selling for memorabilia was like, the T-shirts, lanyards, all that shit.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I don't care about the T-shirt because, while I love, having some memorabilia, like yeah, I've been to a Motley Crue concert. The only one that interested me had a pentagram on it, and I don't need another shirt with a pentagram. You only need one to get the fucking point across.
No, I need 20 of them. That's my only.
You just need one shirt with a pentagram to let Christians know, hey, I don't fuck with that shit. So I got a fucking flag. And it's just like, hell yeah. Here, actually, Scoob, I want to get your live reaction. So I'm going to send you the video clip. Alright, I think that's the video clip. Nope, that's just an image. God damn it. I have to go specifically through my phone.
Alright, people, I'm gonna head out. Adios.
Alright, well, it's good having you here, mate.
Adios.
Oh, I can't do it through Discord? No, I can. Boop.
You can, it's just, with how Discord is,
I need Nitro.
It has to be a fucking Nitro member and shit.
I'll just send it to you over
That's the only
Facebook
issue with
Messenger.
that. I don't use Facebook, or I don't use any social media anymore, if I'm being honest with you.
No, alright. Oh, no, phone. There we go. That's fun, though. But yeah, no, it's just fucking
Like
terrifying.
literally after my Facebook account got fucking deleted by the company itself, I stopped using social media
Oh,
because they were clearing out accounts that wasn't used, and I used mine on and off, but at that point in time they I wasn't using it, so they just completely deleted it, and it fucking pissed me off. So I'm
they,
just like, fuck it, I'm
they,
done with
they
social media.
missed several. I can tell you now, they missed several inactive accounts because I still have access to my burner account.
They got rid of mine, and I was on and off using mine.
I still have access to my fucking burner account. And even then, I'm not gonna, fucking share that.
Question.
Yeah, what's up?
I actually do have a question for you. Do you, by any chance, have an old Guitar Hero guitar for 360?
For 360? No. If you said,
Well, I ended up getting a copy of Guitar Hero Warriors of Rock, and I need a guitar to play it.
nice.
I can't play it without a guitar or a mic, for that matter. And I don't have neither one of those.
You don't need a microphone to play that.
Well, I don't even have a 360 headset to use it
Oh.
to do it.
Yeah, I don't have a 360
Yeah.
headset either. I have a 360. This is not a headset. Got a 360, a
Right.
Connect, several games, but no
But
controller.
yeah, but yeah, I looked on eBay and Amazon. The fucking cheapest one I could find is a Rock Band 3 guitar for like $90, tax
Jesus.
and all,
Well,
and that's used.
that's because
If I were to find a Guitar Hero guitar that's still in the box, it'd be like $300.
I want to
I've
say
even looked at used ones, and they're wanting over like $200 for it
that's
for
because
used guitars.
a lot of computers like uh I can't remember the fucking name of it, but like what Jason Paradise plays.
Like, I understand with Clone Hero and
Yeah, Clone
everything.
Hero.
Like, I understand with Clone Hero and shit like that. But for people that use it for the console in particular, because that's what I'm looking for, is to use it for 360 and 360 only.
Well, I know you can play it with a controller. It's not fun. You can just play it with a regular ass controller.
I played Guitar Hero 3 with C. Warriors of Rock, you can't do that. Like, if you try
Oh,
using a controller, you'll think you're using trying to do vocals.
oh, okay.
Because if you remember how Guitar Hero 5 was with the multiple instrument selection,
Yeah.
you have the guitar and the vocals and crap like that. If you try using a controller, it'll set it to vocals
I
every time.
I know the only thing that I know for a fact that I have that uses any of those like weird controllers that I know for a fact still works is DJ Hero. And right now
See, that's one game I never played.
well, that's nice. But yeah, I
That's
basically just brought
That's
it
one
over.
of the rhythm games I never played.
I just brought it over to Cog's place because he loves playing that game. And I fucking surprised him when he came over and I was letting him know like DJ Hero still worked because he gave me like one of those
Mm.
hospital type desks. You know, like if you're a patient, they slide the table over to where you
Mhm.
can eat. He had one of those. I fucking
Mhm.
raised that bitch up and put the controller on there and forced you to stand while playing. So it felt even more realistic.
Mm.
Ugh.
Have you seen glimpses into the new Need for Speed? They're supposedly bringing back some uh one of the actual people from the old one of the old ones.
I haven't heard anything about that. Like the most. Oh yeah, shit. That's not good.
Well, the most recent trailer I
Decent.
seen, the most recent trailer I seen for it is of when they revealed Razor's vehicle because they're bringing his character back in this one.
And I guarantee you they're probably gonna fuck it up. As they always
But they're
do.
also bringing back the M3. They're
Dude,
also bringing back the M3 as
they've
well, though.
had
I
the
don't know if they're remastering the game or if they're actually reworking the game
they can't
completely.
they can't remaster the game.
Oh.
As in like they actively cannot. Because they've lost all licenses to that, and that was technically made by a completely different Need for Speed team. But the only thing I've seen of
I didn't
the
think of it
new
that way.
Need for Speed is what Black Panther uploads. So most I've seen is
See, that's
really early
that's how I
beta.
seen it too.
All I've seen is just really early beta footage. That's not good. The stream, the title of the stream is like, oh yeah, streaming this until CarX downloads. PlayStation fucking crashed. I'm not even actively playing games. It was literally on the menu downloading. I'm not even sure how long ago it crashed. But it said it like had half a fucking hour before it downloaded. Which is not a big game. We just don't have good internet here. Like the upload speed is maybe two or 3 megabits per second. Or megabytes.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's really not good.
I mean, it can't be as bad as mine. Mine goes from freaking 1 megabyte a second to like 1,000 kilobytes a second.
Ouch. There we go.
Yeah.
And and I was trying to convince my father, and with Billy's help, because he wants to use the website Newegg, I'm going to be trying to get more PC parts in, or better PC parts, because I actually want to upgrade my computer so I can fucking play Fallout 4 with the mods I have.
Okay. The one I'm sending you is the one I seen last. Oh, God, what? Come on, phone.
See, that's the whole entire thing. Like, I'm not worried.
This video I seen was not the exact video, but the reveal was the exact reveal that I seen.
I'm not too worried about like that shit or doing like, hey, we're going to. Oh god, fucking damn it! Give me a second. I accidentally turned on Cog's PlayStation.
You're good.
But I'm not too much into like raising my hopes up of like, oh yeah, this is what the new story is gonna be and shit like that. Because I honestly, at this point, I don't care if it has a good story.
Honestly,
Like,
I'm not really worried about the story either. The one thing I'm looking forward to more than anything is not only the car selection, but the open world.
My thing
What they're
is,
gonna do with the open world this time around.
I want them to have like
Like those are my two biggest things.
for me, as long as they have like solid fucking driving physics. Like
That too. I
because
agree with you on that.
it doesn't matter how good of a fucking map it looks like. If it doesn't have solid driving physics, it's not going to work. I mean, look at 2015 for example. It looked really fucking good, but it drove like ass, so.
No, there was a few more things than just the driving physics that was wrong with that game.
Oh yeah, the story was fucking awful. Like it was all designed for like new kids and shit. I got the story of that game was so bad.
I just hope they do good with this one.
Oh, I
I mean,
remember
don't get me
this.
wrong, he wasn't
That's
bad,
hey,
but like
mate,
the one.
Scoop. I'll just cut it in the. I'll just cut the. I'll just cut the trailer in the bud right now. That's not an actual trailer. Like that was a recreated trailer from like 4 or 5
know.
years ago.
I figured it was.
All right. But I'm gonna take off my
I
head.
figured it was, but by the way it looked like it was
Oh
new.
yeah, it looks real fucking good. But that's because you leave it to the fans. They're gonna give you a good polished product, not like these $1 million companies that are just selling out games. Right, but bear back. I'm gonna go
Alright.
turn Cog's PlayStation off. Alright, I'm back. But yeah, I remember seeing that fan made
Welcome back.
trailer a long time ago. Shit was great.
See, that's the first I was seeing of it, so when I seen that I'm just like, well, if they decide to do that, then
Need for
go
Speed.
for it. I
Need
mean,
for
a
Speed's
lot of people would be surprised.
that company's never gonna give us what we want. They're at least trying, though. Like the main thing with
Honestly, I wish they'd go back to some of the older ones.
yeah, me too. But it's like they're doing what they think will sell well. Not like they're not listening to the community. Because if you listen to the community, then we'll tell you exactly what we want, and then it will sell extremely fucking well. But they never do. Just so they can try to push out and meet their quota. Like, for
Hmm
instance, Need for Speed 2015, one of its surnames, like one of its projects names was Underground 3. Like it was supposed to follow in those footsteps, but they took every bad footstep there was. And they just overplayed the fucking cheesiness aspect of it. It's like, for every positive that game had, and there was about 5 negatives. Because, like,
There was more negatives than there were positives. Yeah,
yeah. Because, like, for instance,
I agree with you on that one.
I fucking loved the cutscenes in Need for Speed 2015. Like, I honestly love the cutscenes. Like,
The realistic
the real,
cutscenes
the
were the
realistic,
one thing that kept that game going.
like, the realistic cutscenes and the fact that they were able to take whatever car you modded and put it into the cutscene and make it look real was outstanding. It was fucking great. But
It was
anytime
the
it's
one thing
out
that
of,
kept that game going.
but then it pops out of the cutscene and it's just like, yeah, this looks good, but it runs like dog shit. Game wasn't optimized. The game handled terribly. Story was just absolute cringe. Like,
See, okay, out of all the Need for Speed games, the two games that I could not get behind that a lot of people enjoyed was Need for Speed Shift and Need for Speed Shift 2.
I
But the whole reason why I couldn't get behind those games for the simple fact of the non-open world aspect of the game.
liked
When it comes to a Need for Speed game, that's the one thing I look at the most is the open world aspect.
That's because Shift was trying to be a pro racer, or like trying to be a realistic racer, which didn't work well because if you wanted a realistic racer that Need for Speed did, you go with Need for Speed Pro Street because it was arcadey enough still, but also realistic.
I agree with that. Pro Street was by far between those three games, between Shift and Pro Street was the better of the three.
Mm-hmm. Ugh. Jesus Christ, this fucking burns.
Honestly, I wish they'd do another Pro Street. I wish would do another game like Pro Street, because I would definitely buy it.
Oh yeah, I would too. But honestly, this is from me to you, or me to literally any gamer out there who likes the old Need for Speeds. Get a computer, download the old Need for Speeds, and then start messing with the mod community. Because they definitely breathe new life into old games. Like, for instance, 2 years ago, Need for Speed Most Wanted Pepega Edition released. And it's basically just a brand new fucking game.
I remember that.
And
I remember that because I watched fucking. I can't remember his name, but
Kuru.
I watched somebody play the full
It's either
game, and it actually had him in it.
It's either Kuru or Eden.
It was Kuru.
Because Eden and his team
It was
made the
Kuru.
mod. Okay. But another one, for instance, is
Because when he got to the part where he was in it, he sat there and laughed. He's just like, I'm in the game.
I mean, Eden and his team have been working on a Pepega edition of Pro Street. They've started to release trailers. Just
I
because.
thought they already had a freaking beta for it out already.
No.
Because I could have sworn they already had it out.
No.
Because I was.
Kuru played Need for Speed Pog Street, which is similar,
Oh,
but
that's what it was.
it's another joke meme made in like the vein of the Pepega category, but it's not the Pepega edition. Honestly,
Mm.
I want to just get back into old racing games and just stream those because there's nothing like the oldies.
Another one I couldn't get behind Need for Speed wise was World. Like when
I
that game come out, I just never had the chance to really
I
play it.
destroyed the Need for Speed World. Like I still destroyed people. Which I showed off that like the classic built versus bought argument of how a built car will always be better than a bought car because blood, sweat, and tears were poured into it. I was the difference between paid and free
Mhm.
players. Like I was the king of free play because I had the beginner fucking vehicle, all right, slightly upgraded, and I was still outrunning people in their paid vehicles. But that's because I have 05's Most Wanted map basically memorized.
How can you forget that map? It's a well-known map.
Exactly. But like if Need for Speed devs wanted to make an easy game but bring it up to like new standards, I will tell you right here and right fucking now. Just take Need for Speed Most Wanted and Need for Speed Carbon and just fuse the two maps together. I mean, they've already done it with Need for Speed World. Just fuse the maps together, give us a story.
Right?
Like, connect the two games together. Because it's just like, yeah, Carbon is technically the sequel to Need for Speed Most Wanted, but give us something to where it pushes them together, like back to back. Make it new. Give
The
it a new
way I
handling
see it,
aspect, new lighting,
what
all
I
that
would
shit.
like for them to do, what I would like for them to do, new story, like new like kind of situation story wise.
Yeah,
But like you said, take the two maps and kind of put them together.
exactly. Like, bring something old
I
that
would love to
fans
see what
already
they would do
fucking
with that.
love. Like, take something old fans already fucking love, give it a polish, make it look new, even if you have to rebuild the same map from the ground up. Do that, make it look brand fucking new. Boom. Already got a new game that fans are going to lose their fucking minds over. Like, hell, give us
All
a.
you'd have to do is come up with a unique story that would help kind of fit in with the world.
Exactly. Like, fuck. Another one that they could have done is give us the actual Most Wanted. Like, remember 2015's Most Wanted?
2012, you mean?
Or, yeah, 2012's Most Wanted. Do you remember that? How it was such a shit show?
I played through that game entirely. It wasn't the same because it didn't have a compelling story. For me, it didn't have a compelling story.
Look at the
It didn't
beta.
have the cutscenes that I was expecting and shit like that.
Scoob. Look at the beta footage.
See, I never played the beta.
No. Like,
I never played the beta for it.
yeah, but
I'll go and look at it here in a minute, but
it was actually designed from the ground up to be like a part of return back to Rockport.
which they completely scrapped towards the end of it, I noticed.
Yeah, but it was supposed to be a return back to Rockport. Like the original cast members, all that shit was going to be in there, just with a different map and with a new BMW M3. But like, yeah, it wasn't the original like
I mean,
what
if
we
you
all
think about
love.
it, they still had the M3 in there,
That yeah, the
but
DLC
it
one.
wasn't. Yeah, like you said, it wasn't the same. It was it was the
But
DLC.
they were at least trying, and that everyone has to at least respect. And if you don't, fuck you. But they were actually
I
trying.
respect what they did, but like I said, it lacked. It lacked so much in the story, like cutscene
Well,
wise and shit
that's
like
because
that.
that's
That's the
because
one thing that kind of deterred me from playing that game after.
that's because they literally had to cut all that out just because of EA's tyrannical demands for time limits. Like they're like, we want this game released this time. We're not giving you ample time to make a new story. Which I really wish they did. Because the beta footage actually looked fucking amazing. It was back to the old dark, gritty, most wanted feeling. Not just, oh, playful Burnout Paradise, but Need for Speed. Hmm.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that was thinking that.
Dude, I've been a Need for Speed fan for the entirety of my life. Would you like to know what my first Need for Speed was that I ever played?
What was
Fucking Hot Pursuit 2. It was either Hot Pursuit 2 or
I think
Underground
my
2.
first one I ever played was Underground.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I
saying.
think
Like,
my was
it
Underground.
was either Hot Pursuit or Underground. I'm thinking it was
It's been
Hot
so
Pursuit
long
because
now.
that's the older game. But yeah, I've been playing racing games ever since I was a wee little shit. And
That weird little shit.
I've taken all that experience and just sharpened it to an edge. To where like I've actually fucking learned realistic drive or realistic racing. To where like hit every single apex and all that shit. And then I tweaked it because
Just thinking where these Need for Speed games come, what the Need for Speed games have come to now. It's not the same what it used to
yeah,
be.
like I hopefully you can agree with me on this though. Heat was a good start. Need for Speed Heat was a good game. Can you agree with me on
It
that?
was, but the one thing I agree, but the one thing I felt like it lacked, and you'll probably agree with me on this too, is a little bit longer of a story, like the story wise, for those people that couldn't really play on.
Honestly, I feel like the story was put on to like the latter end of that. If it wasn't built story first, it was built to be a good racing game first. It was built to be a good Need for Speed, and they just didn't really bother until the story, but they had plenty of time to do it afterwards. But either way, like, it's still good because racing games, like, if you've played any racing game before, you know story is not the main thing. It never was. Like, if you're playing a racing game, you just want to have the cars, a realistic driving handle, or realistic driving model, and that's all you want. Or just good handling, good car, or good selection of cars, good variety of maps. That's all you need for a good, solid racing game. We didn't even have to worry about story until Most Wanted came in and fucking blew us away. And then we actually started taking stories and racing games seriously.
Mhm. Honestly, out of all of the Need for Speeds, the three games for me, and this is just my opinion here, the three games that had a really good story that was mainly story driven based was Most Wanted, '05,
Yeah.
Carbon, and you're probably gonna disagree with me on this last one, but the run. The run had, for me
Oh
personally, the run
no,
had a good story.
I'm right next to you on that. The Need for Speed: The Run was a cinematic
'Cause that's what
masterpiece.
that game was mainly, was story. Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, I feel like
And I know,
Need for Speed: The Run had such a good story. It's almost par level with Most Wanted. Like I would swap The Run for the
but
second
a lot of
genre.
people think otherwise. Though.
I loved the
Like
story
a
of The
lot
Run.
of people thought otherwise because I've seen videos. Like I've seen videos of it, and a lot of people had a lot of criticism over Need for Speed: The Run just because of the simple fact of it was more story driven than open world.
That's because a
But
lot
you
with
still had that open world mechanics a little bit, but the story is what really drove that over the top
that's
for
because
me, anyway.
even with you,
And then the car selection was really.
like that's
Go
I'll
ahead.
I will say this now. With the whole story aspect of Need for Speed: The Run, of how you said a lot of people didn't like it, I feel like that's, or the non-open world. I feel like that's something we've all just gotten way too used to. It's like we're too used to having racing games as just open world, do whatever the fuck you want, right? But nobody's really looking at vid. This not even a video game devs or video game fans, just more of just society as general. Do not They just don't look at video games as cinematic masterpieces.
Not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. Because like, but for instance, the original Crew, amazing fucking story. Most Wanted, amazing fucking story. Uh, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, fucking heartbreaking story. Like those are some of the biggest and best story driven
Like
games
I
out there.
agree with you on that. I feel like MW3, the ending on MW3 was right up there with it, in the way I see it.
For me, my
Like Modern Warfare 2 and 3, the endings for both of those are kind of right up there. And one of my personal favorite endings.
yeah, like the endings are good, but I mean like from taking it and looking at it from like a cinematic movie standpoint, where it fucking hits you hard and it makes you think about shit differently. Like Modern Warfare 2's missions where
Now, if you're
you
looking at it from that perspective, I would put 2 over just a little bit. I'd put 2 over 3,
well, for me,
but not by much.
the reason why I do that is, or the reason why I put it over is the helicopter mission where you're leaving and that nuke strikes. Like that fucking story right there,
I
that hits
remember that.
you fucking differently. Like that makes you feel shit, like a good fucking movie needs to do. That makes you feel.
Now, the one thing that I'll say they done right with both of those games is the ending of 2
I don't even fucking remember.
started 3.
I can't even
That's
fucking
what I
remember the
loved
ending
about
of
it.
two.
The ending of 2, like when you watch the credits, you see you see Soap get wheeled in on a gurney because he got shot. So like the ending of that, we see that that's where 3 starts, and I feel like they done that really well. Kind of taking that and kind of transitioning into the next game.
Yeah, true. But I feel like video games, like if you want to make a good video game, honestly, if you want to make a good video game,
Oh no, He didn't get shot, he got stabbed.
Huh? I,
I can't remember the ending off the exact top of my head. I think he either got shot or stabbed, one of the two.
you threw a knife at him. I know.
No, I'm talking about how Soap had to get gurneyed in.
Ah, but honestly, my perfect video game. Like, if you want my opinion on how to make the best fucking video game, is have a team, or have two different teams, alright? One focuses on game development, while the complete other side of the team only focuses on story. And, like, get some of the grade A fucking people. Like, get the best video game developers. Get, like, proper AAA movie makers. Have them agree on a thing. Alright? Like, hey, this is how the story is gonna go. Have the game or go into it. This is how the game is gonna go. Make sure the story works into it. Have them split off of that main idea, make the best fucking thing that they can, and then come back together and put it all together. Because, like, if you have a game that has really good fucking physics, it's fantastic. But if you have a game with a really good story, that's completely fucking different. But you need to have the best of both of them. Because you can have a game with really good physics, but with a really shitty story. Point an instance. For me, look at Test Drive Unlimited 2. Or 1. Great handling, fucking shitty story. Or The Crew 2, for instance.
Never played 2, but I played a little bit of 1. The
Alright.
Test Driver Unlimited 1,
But,
and I couldn't get behind playing that game.
alright.
That's just me though.
But still, it's just like, it had solid driving in that game. Like, it had a solid driving. It was a good game, but the story did not work. Like, the story was super fucking basic. But if you can have something like a mind-blowing story and really good game physics, just web them both together. Boom, got a fucking grade A. Have a top-selling game right there. And if you can make it like into a big game with a whole bunch of little hidden secrets and shit like that, that's even better because you add in replayability. And if you don't have a game with replayability, it really fucking sucks. Point instance, Mad Max, the video game. That game's good for the first
Yeah, I'd never
playthrough.
played Mad Max.
That game's good for the first playthrough. That's it. Because it's a grind fest. You're literally grinding to get scrap to upgrade your car so you can continue the story. But the story, it's fucking Mad Max. It's a great story. But once you complete it once, there is zero replayability. Like, you don't want to play it again. There's no secrets, nothing.
I feel like the one game that kind of done that for me, and I'm kind of going back to one of the games I mentioned earlier. It was Need for Speed 2012. When I did play that, the first
What,
time I
Most
played
Wanted?
through I
Most
enjoyed
Wanted?
it and I liked it.
Oh,
Yeah, Most
Most Wanted
Wanted.
2012. Yeah.
But after that, a- after that first initial playthrough, there was not really much left for me to do. Because at that point, once I finished the game, I had already played through all the races. I've already unlocked all the shit and all the cars and shit like
Yeah,
that.
there's just
So
zero
there was really
replayability.
nothing else for me to
Like,
do.
honestly, I replayed 2012 quite a lot because I fell in love with the physics of that game. I felt like the
I mean,
physics.
the physics were good, but
Yeah, the
it just
physics were
didn't have
nice.
replayability.
Yeah,
For me, it did.
it's just like Burnout Paradise. It's a fun party game to pick up every now and then and put it back down.
That is true.
But that's it. But still not bad because you're still having some sort of replayability, even if it's not often.
See, with Paradise, you do have more replayability than 2012 Most Wanted, just for the simple fact of once you finish the game, because by that point in the game, you won't have all the races done in Burnout Paradise and crap like that.
No, you will.
So you have to go through
Well,
and find whichever one. Ooh, for me, I don't, because I
no,
don't
no.
like. I
Yeah,
run through the game, but I don't
yeah.
actually play through
I
all the
just
races.
remembered because like the Burnout Paradise rolls the credits after you
And
get
that's
like
not counting DLC.
Burnout Paradise gives you the fucking credits after you get the elite license, but then there's the ultimate license for completing every race.
Every race.
Which I've done that before. It's annoying.
I mean, I feel like once you have that ultimate license, though, then it loses its replayability.
Yeah.
But until you get that, it has more replayability than 2012 Most Wanted, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can definitely see that because 2012's Most Wanted was a lot shorter of a game than Burnout Paradise.
Mhm.
Because with Burnout Paradise, you can grind and chip away on that game, cutting through the license for probably days on end if you're not good enough. But with Most Wanted,
First time I
2012,
played,
you
the
just go
first
for
time
it.
I played through Paradise, it took me about a week.
Exactly. Like it takes you a
Took me about
long
a week
it
to
takes
get
you a
through it.
long time to go from beginning to credits in Burnout Paradise because it's a long fucking game. But in 2012's Most Wanted, all they did was just port the physics over and give it a shorter story. So you can complete it a lot quicker.
They ported the physics over. They just added races for you to do, and the races incorporated bounty, which in turn helps you get through the game faster. Like they didn't add any extra, like like the cop physics. The cop physics were good, but they weren't the best.
Dude,
If that makes sense.
yeah. Because uh 05's Most Wanted had the cops were better than they
The
needed.
cop physics in that game was really good.
The cops physics in
Honestly,
05's Most Wanted was better than they needed to be. Like like Most Wanted
I give
05.
the '05 Most Wanted cops like rating list cop wise. I'd put the '05 Most Wanted over the freaking 2012 Most Wanted cops every
Yeah,
time.
but like '05's Most
Because
Wanted.
of the simple fact of like the way they keep with you the whole time, especially when you get to the higher heat levels. That's what really stands it out compared to
'05.
the other game.
If I'm going to literally put any like point on it, '05 Most Wanted was a passion project. Like that's what happens when you have developers who are trying to deliver the best game that they possibly can make. Because the police in that game had no business being that good. None at all. And especially with the reactive
Especially
music.
when you got to the higher heat levels.
Yeah, and then the reactive music going alongside of that is just a perfect symphony. Like that was a passion
Hmm.
project. I was a
Hmm.
group of people making a game because they physically wanted to make the best game that they possibly could. And yeah, but like anything after '05 Most Wanted, or hell, even Carbon for that instant, or The Run just felt like they were just trying to meet their deadlines. Like, that's all they were doing. They were making a game just to get money. They weren't making a game that they were taking pride in. And you can definitely tell, like, there's still racing game developers who are taking pride in the racing games they're making. Like, the finished product
They're still
isn't
passionate about their game.
what? What, mate?
I said they're still passionate about their games.
Yeah. But you can definitely find racing games today that are being driven by a passionate crew. Like, they don't have the finished product completed, but they're releasing steps to show that they are passionate. Like, for instance, CarX Drift Racing. Even though it's just a simple drifting game with no story whatsoever, they have the physics nailed down. Because that's what they wanted to do. And they're releasing CarX, or you can look it up, CarX Street. I
Correct.
don't.
I've seen that.
Yeah, it's literally them just taking the same physics that they've already nailed down and putting it into a street racing game. Because they're doing it like they're taking it slow and
They're
steady.
doing another test drive.
Yeah, Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. I'm actually part of their Discord. And the people
Panther uploaded a video a month ago, and you're just now seeing it.
the people making Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown are the same crew that makes the Dirt games. Which honestly, I'm okay with. Because Dirt's quite nice. It's a good game. But yeah, there's always going to be a difference between.
I'd love to own a fucking 98-inch flat screen.
But
That thing must be expensive, though.
there's always going to be a difference between
Sorry, got that right.
people who are making games just to get a paycheck and people who are making games just because that is their passion. That's something they want to do. Like, for instance, games that are being released just to get money are the constant annual releases year after year after year. You want to play a game that
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty, Need for Speed, shit like that. But if you want to play a game,
Call of Duty is a main example, because they said they
Yeah.
were gonna do a 2-year hiatus, and is doing another fucking game for this year.
but if you want to see a game, or if you want to play a game that is made by people who honestly care about how good the game is, look for a game that, or look for a game series that has very sporadic releases. That isn't constant year after year updates or releases.
I can't. I don't. I can't bring up a game. Honestly, there's not a game that comes to mind that does that kind of thing. So.
CarX. Because
Well, I was referring to games that I played.
yeah, but like CarX Drift or the CarX crew, they released Drift Simulator like 2-3 years ago. Alright? And they are still working on Street. Because they're trying to release like the most polished product possible. And how I know that for
Well,
certain is,
now that you think about it, I'll let you finish.
and alright, thank you. But how I know for certain that CarX Street is going to be a very good game, or even if it's not a good game, you can at least tell the people had passion behind it because the CarX crew have not made another game. Their only game is Drift Simulator, or is Street Drift Racing, and then CarX Street. That's their only game that they're releasing. They do not have their hands in any other projects. It's just that. So they are actively putting time towards that shit to make it the best as they possibly can. Alright, go ahead, mate.
Now, I take that back. The Soulsborne games,
True.
since I've just gotten into playing Elden Ring, I could say that those games have been really thought out and planned.
Like,
Because it took them about, what, 2, 3 years, maybe 4 at most, before they released Elden Ring.
I'll be honest, and this is from an outsider's perspective, because I don't play any Soulsborne game, alright? But I can tell, as an outsider, that that is a passion project. Because you look at the maps, you look at the story, like, that's something that they've put meticulous time into perfecting, and to make look good. They are not half-assing on that job. Like, they really aren't.
They've really gone all out with it, honestly.
Yeah.
And, like, even though Elden Ring is my first kind of Soulsborne game I fully played through, I could tell they put a lot of time and a lot of love into that game.
Yeah, like, even if I don't play that game, because I know for a fact it's gonna make me angry, I can appreciate it. Because it's a passion project. It's something that they really care for. And that's why I'm actively happy to hear when games get delayed. Because they get to put more time into it to make sure it's perfect. Like Test Drive Unlimited 3. It's delayed till next year. But I'm more happy to hear that because then they can release a more polished product. Which I'm pretty sure that's what the Dirt Crew are famous
Another
for.
series that I could say that they've done that with. Okay, there's another game I could say that the developer took their time in the making, and that is the Dying Light game. Because
Yeah,
it's been. When did the first game come out? You
maybe early 2010s.
do you care looking that up for me if you can?
Yeah, no
Actually, I
problem.
got it.
Do you want me to look it up or you
I
look
got
it
it,
up?
man. Never
Okay.
mind.
Doesn't bother me because there's
I got
nobody
it.
in the stream. We're just talking to have fun. This is the podcast. Since uh, since our other podcast isn't
Okay,
active.
so it come out in 2015. The first Dying Light game come out in
And they were
2015.
and
It took them over 7 years.
they were
Because they released the second one February of this year.
yeah.
So it took them 7 years to perfect the second game, and I have loved every bit of it.
Honestly, but yeah, like that's what they need to do. Is don't give us a game or don't give us a new game every year. Give us one game that we can play for several years. Because if you give us a new game every single
Now, I
year,
will say this.
God,
I'll let you finish.
alright. I was gonna say, like, if you give us a shitty game every single year, we're not gonna. Oh, wait, yeah. That was me. I'm dumb. But if you give us a shitty game every single year, you're just it's just being terrible. But if you're giving us one game that we can play, or one game with so much content in it that we can actually play it for several fucking years and still find new shit, that's great. Also, CarX has been installed.
But yeah, like the one thing I could give the Techland team real big props on with the second Dying Light is the mechanics that they improved on with the parkour is 10 times better in this one than it was in the first one. Because in the first one, you didn't have many places you could do parkour and shit like that off top of roof buildings and shit like that.
Yeah.
In the second one, every building is a place where you can parkour, no matter if it's a tall ass building, a fucking small building, like no matter what it is, you're always gonna have a rooftop to jump on top of.
Nice.
And another thing that I felt like they done real well that, and this is just my opinion here, the one thing that I felt like they done real well that kind of bugged me with the first one is the way the leveling system was.
Yeah, the leveling
Because
system was kind of
I
fucked
know
at
you haven't
first.
played the first one, but in the first one,
I
they had
played
4 different skill trees you
I've
could level
played
up.
Dying Light 1.
They had the combat. Well, you remember the 4 different skill trees: the
Yeah,
combat, the weaponry,
I also
the
remember
melee, the legendary.
an XP exploit or XP exploit in the first one. Like,
Or you could dupe the guns. Yeah,
no,
no,
not dupe the guns, literally just an XP exploit. Cause remember Sunshine, the biohazard areas?
see, I never played Dying Light. Like, I know what you're talking about, but I never played the game when the game first come out.
Neither did I.
I didn't play the first one until about a year and a half ago.
Mate, it's still not patched out. But
And I played it on Switch too.
and you can use this if you want, or anybody who does listen to this in the future that doesn't already know about it can use it if you want. The biohazard areas. If you get to one that it's like, hey, you need to grab like these 4 chests, or like these 4 like fucking
I remember
medicine.
those.
Yeah, you know what I'm
I
talking
know
about?
those very well.
Grab 3 of those and leave.
You can keep going back to those.
Yeah,
Yeah. You can
because
keep going back and doing
yeah,
it
because
over
each
again.
one gives you a shit ton of XP, so you're just stacking up an infinite amount of those,
Hmm.
and boom, you got a shit ton of
I
XP.
remember that very well. I think I've done that a few times actually, if I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
shit's great.
But I remember those very well. And don't get me started on the damn skill tree for the DLC. The damn vehicle skill tree shit.
The fucking vehicles.
I mean, it was a neat idea.
I love the
No, like,
vehicles.
if you've ever played the DLC for the game,
I did.
if you've ever played the DLC for the game, they gave you a buggy that you had to maintain and that you could upgrade throughout the
I
game.
honestly fucking loved that.
But oh,
I loved
I
the
mean, I
buggies.
loved it, but the skill tree to be able to level it up was a pain in the ass. I
Oh
don't
yeah,
even think I ever fully maxed out that
I
skill tree
I didn't.
either.
Like all I got was
Like once I played through and beat the DLC, I was done with the game entirely.
The main highlights I've gotten
At that point,
for, like, the main shit I got for the car were able to upgrade the parts to like a level 4 or so and get it armored.
purple level 4. Yeah,
Yeah, get purple parts,
I
get
remember
it
that.
armored, get nitrous. That's all I had. That was all. That's
Hmm.
all you. Well,
That's all I had.
that's all you really
That's
needed.
legit all I had on mine.
That's all you fucking needed. I remember pissing off.
But yeah,
I remember pissing off Demon, the chick I used to play with, before me and her had a falling out, and I got tired of her bullshit. She, me and she fucking hated that bit just because anytime she drove, she'd keep hitting into trees and not hit trees every now and then. She'd be like, "Why there's so many fucking trees?" I'm like, "This is a fucking open world game, and we're in a car, and you're complaining about hitting trees." Like, come on.
but yeah, the one thing that 2 brought that I liked more than anything is that there was only 2 skill trees instead of the original 4. There
Nice.
was your combat skill tree and your parkour.
Yeah, because there's no more guns
That's
or anything.
all the game had. There's no more guns. There's
No
no
cars.
vehicles. No none of that.
Yeah, because this is set like 50 years or so after the initial outbreak.
Well, you can't. It's 15 years. It's 15 years after the original outbreak, and by that point, they've already discovered a cure and all that. But at the same time, it broke out again.
Yeah.
And it's way worse because instead of them coming out throughout the day, they're not only out throughout the day, but they're out throughout the night, and they're a lot tougher at night than they are throughout the day.
Yeah, I feel like that's just a staple in any game with zombies. Is zombies are more difficult at night.
Now, now I will give Dying Light 2 props for this because the original Special Infected in the first game, they scrapped that. The only thing that they brought back from the first game that's in the second game is the volatiles. But
Yeah.
other than that,
Still
all
kind
the
of
other
hate the.
special
Still
infected
kind
are
of hate
pretty
the
much brand
volatiles.
new.
They're kind of cunts.
Dude, the
Volatiles were
tanks
cunts,
from the
but they
first
were.
game were the fucking worst.
Oh, I had an easy time with tanks. They were way too easy.
Well, my first playthrough of the game, when you had to go through that mini boss, having to go through that fucking gauntlet with no weapons,
Yeah.
it fucking irritated the fuck out of me.
That part's
It took me like a dozen tries just to get through it.
That part's a fucking bitch. But yeah, if you ever find like any of the giants outside in the open world where you have your weapons, they're a breeze. You get yourself the ox cannon.
No, that's easy.
You get yourself the
Yeah,
ox cannon, they're gonna go
those
down in
guys
a
are
couple of
easy.
shots.
But
hell, even the volatiles would go down in like 5 shots.
Let's see. But the one thing that's different about the volatiles in the second game than the first game is that you have UV lights that you can use, and the UV lights will actually stun the volatiles.
Oh, it won't just
compared to the
burn
first
them.
game. The first game you had to run from them.
Yeah.
In the second one, it'll actually stun them and like kind of back them off of you where you can run away.
That's good.
So that's one thing that helps a lot.
Yeah, it sounds like it helps a lot. Oh,
especially early game.
Okay, so I was looking down at my collection of games. Earlier we were talking about good story games. One good story game that came out of fucking nowhere, Subnautica.
I haven't played Subnautica. They have both Subnautica and Below Zero on Game Pass, on the Xbox Game Pass, but I don't have Game Pass where I download and play them. I heard they were really good though.
if you want to see Subnautica, I've done a playthrough on my channel. But yeah, no,
I might go check that out today when I get the chance to. Anyway.
that was actually a really good game. I should preface this with
Another good one that I want to go through and play is Undertale.
Undertale's nice, but overall,
Because
it feels
they have it on Xbox. I want to go through and play it.
the game is nice. The community is toxic. All right.
Which does not surprise me.
Yeah, it's like any good game, or like any game that really blows up. The community is gonna be toxic. Like, for instance, the FNAF community, they're the worst.
Don't get me started on that now. I already know.
Dude, I had some person in our Discord basically call me a little pussy bitch for not wanting to play FNAF because I'm scared. Like, I don't do well with horror games. That's just not what I do. Don't insult me over that. Oh well, deal with it. And if you don't believe me that I'm a pussy bitch when it comes to video games, play the clip of when I screamed like a bitch in Resident Evil 7 VR. Oh wait, I'm not editing this video? Shit. Yes, I raised my hand in the air and looked off like I'm talking to some fucking editor. Like, hey, edit that in for me. Oh, okay. But no, I fucking screamed like a bitch. And I'm not afraid to admit it. But yeah, I don't do well with horror
Like,
games at all.
for me, I love horror games, but like the horror games that get me the most is like the ones that build up a lot of suspense and then like get you right at the end of it.
Those are my favorite.
What's a good example of
That's
that?
my favorite type of
What's a
horror.
good example? Uh,
I love that type of horror.
Layers of Fear. That was one I was trying to think of.
Oh, okay.
Like that one, that kind of that kind of suspense, like you're expecting something to happen, but at the end, like it kind like the music is what gets you the most, and
Yeah.
that's what I love about that game. Like the music and the tone of the music is what gets you scared the most out of anything else in
Alright.
that game.
I got a hot take for you. So, first off, that you should know about me is I love mental horror. Like, I love games that, like, the more you think about it, the more terrifying it gets. Alright?
Amnesia is a good example of that, honestly.
No, actually, a really good example of that, Bendy and the Ink Machine.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one too.
Do you know?
Amnesia was the first one that come to mind, but I do agree with you on that too
Oh,
because I have watched Markiplier play that,
so do you know
so I
about the
know
new? Do you
exactly
know
what you're
about the
talking
new
about.
game plus Easter egg? Well, not Easter egg, but the new game plus Scary part.
Mhm,
Yeah, where you look up the walls and it's marked.
mhm.
Yeah, it's like that shit. That's my type of horror. Of just like, oh, I've done this before. It's just a never-ending cycle. Like that's my fucking type of horror. I love that shit. Um, trying to remember. I know I had another game on my mind, but I can't fucking remember it.
What's another good example of that? Um,
Mm,
Trying to
here,
figure out what another good
now that I'm thinking about it,
example of horror.
with that type of horror, that actually leads me perfectly into Subnautica, even though we were talking about it before. I that type of horror is something the original Subnautica does extremely well. Alright? Because about the first quarter of the game is all spent with you going to your pod and getting calls from other downed ships or other downed pods. So you swim over there, but there's never a person there. Just items. And you keep doing that, and it's hammering home the point that you are truly alone. And that's something that
Now I
that
know
game
this
does
ain't a
in
video
spades.
game, but this is more of a. No, I know this is more of a video game, or not more of a demo than a video game.
PT?
But PT is
You
another
said
good
you said
example of
demo, and I'm just like, it's
like
gonna
a
be fucking
psychological.
PT. But I love.
Well, I mean that's another good example of that kind of style of horror,
Yeah,
especially in video games. Even though it was just a demo, it was done really well.
I love horror games that take the horror and stretch it out over a very long distance. Where it's not like,
That was the series I was trying to think of was the Silent Hill games.
I
They
gotcha.
done the mental horror really well in that game in those games.
Honestly, only
Those were the games I was trying to think of
only
earlier.
Silent Hill I've played even a little bit of was The Room. That shit fucking terrified me.
Like I've watched people speedrun the original games and like the games and like even done casual playthroughs. And even during the casual playthroughs, it still scared the shit out of me, and I wasn't even playing it. I'm not the one playing it. Like
But yeah,
now,
when it
you do got to give props to a lot of the indie developers though,
oh yeah,
because some of the
definitely.
indie developers make a real good psychological horror game.
Here, give me a second.
We Happy Few, that's another good one.
That was a decent one.
That's another good
All right, here.
psychological one.
I'm going to. Okay, I only have one horror game on my computer downloaded, and I've already played through it.
What's that?
It's not even a horror game, to be honest. Dagon.
I don't think I've ever heard of that.
It's a H.P. Lovecraft story.
Mmm.
They literally,
H.P. Lovecraft
they literally
horror.
just took
That's
H.
there's some good horror games based around that.
But they literally just took H.P. Lovecraft's story, Dagon. That's literally the name of the book, and just made it into a 3D environment. And I actually loved it.
Well, a lot of people that take those kind of books and do horror related games and stuff like that do really well, especially for the people that enjoy the books.
Yeah, because the Dagon game I'm talking about, one is completely free for anyone to download, and two is apparently a one-for-one recreation of the book. The only money they earn off of it is through DLC sales. Oh, and apparently it can run in VR. It's even worse. But yeah, I love me a good horror that just stretches out and takes a real long time to actually settle down.
Hey,
Because like, for
you want to know one that a lot of people have been getting into here lately? That I've even seen like Markiplier and them play a lot of is the fucking backroom stuff, like the backroom games and stuff like that.
well, that's also another one of my things is it's getting too much attention.
And I know that's not like psychological horror, but
Yeah, but for me, that's just getting too much attention. Like
I do agree with you on that.
I prefer things that don't get that much attention. Not because it's just like, oh, I like
Oh,
this shit because before it was cool. It's more of just I like the lesser known projects because then you don't have like a AAA budget team
oh,
working on them. Not everybody knows about them. You can help
it's
spread
funny
the
that you
message.
say that because there was one game in particular that I cannot think of the fucking name of, but Markiplier played it. It's one from I believe last year. Hold on.
No problem. Yeah, as I was saying earlier, I enjoy horror that is stretched out. Like, if we're gonna look at horror in that type of way, jump scares are the shortest version of it. Alright?
Phasmo is a good example of like a jump
Oh,
scare based one.
Phasmophobia? Yeah.
Phasmophobia.
But
Yeah.
that's what I mean. It's just like, on the scale of just horror, okay? Like how quick I like my horror. At the shortest end of the spectrum, at the very bottom, is jump scares. Because it's just like, boom, boom, scream, scared, done. Like it doesn't continue on from that. Alright? Like, it's just like somebody grabbing and screaming at you. Like, boom,
I think
scares right fucking there.
I
But then,
think my lowest. I think I'd have to agree with you on the jump scares being the lowest one as well.
yeah, because it's just boom, scare, scream right there. And as soon as that's done, the scare's over. Like, it's just completely done. But I like the horror that, like, it doesn't scare you. Like, it doesn't catch you off at first. But the more you start thinking about it, the scarier it gets. And the hot take I was gonna do earlier when I said that is,
Oh, Mark played Evil Dead. Hmm,
eh,
I didn't know
that's
that.
just another fucking clone of the multiplayer horror.
Mr. Hopper's Manor Escape. It's kind of like a horror. It's a horror game, but it's kind of like it's an indie horror game is what it is, and it was really well made with what the developers had.
Yeah.
It's called Mr. Hop's Manor Escape.
Alright. God damn it, I already
But
forgot
that's
what I was
another
talking
good
about.
horror related one. Sorry. I'm kind of going through trying to find the one game I'm trying to think of,
No,
but I
it's all
can't think of
good.
the name of it.
It's all good. But I love.
Happy Humble Burger Farm is another good horror
I
one.
know Archangel's played that. He streamed it. But as I was saying before,
Coffee Playtime. I've been hearing that that's
I
another good
don't
one.
support him at all. I do not support Poppy Playtime. But I love horror that is
I'll let you talk
stretched.
now while I try and find this game.
Alright, but I like horror that is stretched for an extremely long time. Like, the more you think about it, the scarier it fucking gets. God damn it, I really wish I could fucking remember what I was thinking or what I was talking about before. Oh, yeah, my hot take.
Okay.
Have you seen the new Chucky?
I watched it on and off. I never fully watched it.
My hot take is I actually prefer that Chucky over the older movies. Because, like, everyone's just like, oh, the original Chuckies are the scariest fucking things ever. The new Chuckies don't compare. But I think they're missing a point when it comes to the new Chuckies. Because it's like, yeah, the old one, oh, this demonic being is possessing a little fucking kid's doll. Yeah, whatever. That story arc's been done to death. But what I think makes the new Chucky even more terrifying is the fact that it's technology and that there is a possibility that that can happen. It's just like, oh yeah,
Now,
it's played up for
I will
jokes.
say this: one of the games that are. Oh, go ahead.
I just love the fact that that's that's really good horror right there for me. Is the fact of it's not extremely realistic, but it's realistic enough because we all know like technology can be hacked into and fiddled with, and that Chucky is an electronic doll that theoretically could be made to do that. So it's realistic horror, and I fucking love that bit. And that actually kind of scared me more than anything else. Either way, go ahead.
I found the game I
Alright.
was looking for. One of them, anyway. It was Visage that Markiplier played. It was a
Oh,
video he done 3 years
Visage.
ago.
Visage. Yeah.
Yeah, that's another good, like, kind of. I don't know if it would be psychological, but like just horror in general. That's another good horror based one
Yeah.
because the way it was done was actually it was really well done.
Alright. Yeah, nothing's. I
Let's see
am
what
always
that
going to be a good psychological horror person. I hate. Like, I don't hate. Hate would be the wrong word to say, but like the regular slash films, like those are outplayed. They're done. They're too
What
boring
is
now.
that video?
They're basic. It's just like, yeah, Friday the
This is
13th and
crazy.
shit. Like, those are always going to be classics, but they're outplayed. You can't really release one of those today and expect it to be scary. Because it was done too much in the past. We have to move on. We have to step up our game.
Good Christ, how many horror related videos did Mark do the, since his channel's been out?
Dude, when it comes to a YouTube,
Outlast 2 is a good horror related game,
I've heard,
but it's not psychological
I've
horror.
heard,
Well, it is
I've
psychological, but it's more like
I've
physical horror.
actually heard decent things about Outlast.
Outlast 2 is one of my favorites. I want to go back and play the first one. I fully played through 2 and I actually loved it. It gave that sense of like urgency, that sense of like just keeping your wits about you
Yeah,
and keeping you on your toes while
like
having that like psychological horror style to it.
it's giving like yeah, it's scary, but it's also giving you like the hope of if I play this smart, I will survive.
hmm
But
Where the fuck is it?
yeah, we
The Sonic.exe games
oh
was
Sonic
another is
.exe.
another good example of like video game themed horror.
Yeah, another great one if we're gonna do it like that. Doki Doki Literature Club.
hmm
I
Started you out with the sense of like, okay, everything's fine, and then the further you get into it, the more like
I
fucked up it
hate
gets.
I hate
Yeah,
that game
I know exactly what you're
so
talking about.
much. I hate it so fucking much. And not
Okay,
not only because one,
another
I
one, sticking to like old video game characters. Another one sticking to old video game characters is the Sonic. Well, not Sonic, but Mario.exe games.
but I seriously hate
Like,
Doki Doki Literature Club so fucking much, dude. As one of the only games I outright refuse to play. Not only because of the fact that one, it has to deal with suicide, which that is very personal to me, and it's something I heavily stand against. So literally anybody in the Discord can just message or just DM me at any time, and I will respond to them if they're having like fucking suicidal thoughts and shit, and I want to help them out. But also, two is because I actually kind of fell in love with one of the characters. Like, I love their fucking style. It's fucking great. Can't remember her name.
Seeing the name of one of Mark's videos reminded me of another game that was like a psychological horror game, The Evil Within,
Oh yeah, The
both
Evil Within.
1 and 2.
That's a classic.
That's a really good example of psychological.
Yeah, but I always love a good like if I would rather take a psychological thriller over a hack and slash movie any day of the week. And weirdly enough, that's what I think makes Final Destination great. Is like, yeah, it's all bloody and all that, but there's subtle themes of psychological horror underneath it. You know what I mean?
Damn. He has over almost 10 years of fucking horror themed videos.
You're not even
I
bothering.
probably. No, I'm listening to you, but I'm also trying to find that one game I was trying to think of.
Cool, are you gonna say anything about what I said about Final Destination? Of how it played
I do agree. I
its
do really
psychological.
agree with you, though. It really played on that sense of like keeping on your toes
It played its
and psychological
it
all at
played its
once.
psychological horror so well that nobody like not a lot
It
of
really
people
is.
realized it was a psychological horror. They just thought it was blood and guts. Like, for instance, today, me,
9
me,
fucking years of over
me, sorry,
485
me, Cog,
horror
or
related
me
videos.
and my siblings, plus thousands of people across the world, are still scared to drive behind a wood carrying truck to this day. That's the type of horror I love. The ones that will fuck you up way
I
down
found the
the
game I
line
was looking
without you
for.
even thinking about it. Alright, what's the game you're thinking of? Or you were talking about?
No, before I say the name of this game, before I say the name of it, it's kind of like a mix of like, it's a mix of horror. It's kind of like a murder mystery kind of deal,
Ooh,
but it
that
also
sounds
has
fun.
elements of like horror related elements to it as well.
That sounds fun.
Because like you're trying to solve murders and make sure you don't die in the process.
That
It's called
that
At
sounds
Dead of Night.
that actually sounds really
It's
fun.
actually on Steam.
That sounds fun. Like that sounds like a game I'd love to watch.
But
Because like I said before, I don't do well with
Mark
horror.
Markiplier is a good one to watch it because he did a full series on the game.
Okay, cool.
So I would definitely recommend watching it from him.
So another side thing.
But it is a really good game.
So another side thing. We're sticking with the horror aspect, but I'm moving it away from games. One thing that I love horror-wise is a good rabbit hole. Like, you know, like a horror rabbit hole. Like you can watch a whole bunch of videos on that shit. I love watching that shit. Just endless questions.
What's a good example of that? It's like kind of like a VHS style horror.
Yeah, God damn, I'm trying to remember. There's a really
Like
there's some
I know the name of it, but I just can't think of it off the top of my.
but I know there's a Five Nights at Freddy's style one that I have fallen in love with.
Oh yeah, where it kind of like gets in depth with like the animatronics and shit like that. I know the one you're talking about. If it's by the same person, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Does it involve them driving off, or one of the videos of them driving off to a secured base where they keep all of their old animatronics and shit?
I believe so.
It's
It's been
something
a minute since I last
files.
seen it.
That's all I can remember is it's the something files. But that's I fucking love that type of horror as well.
Okay, this is now. I know we kind of strayed off from like the video game aspect of horror, but this kind of blends in with both video games and music because there's both a movie, video games and movies because there's both a movie and a game based off of it.
Yeah.
But Blair Witch is a really, really good
Blair-
example of psychological
Oh yeah,
and like
100%.
mental horror.
Hell, like the scariest thing about the Blair Witch Project wasn't even put on the camera. Like seriously, the scariest
It was
part.
everything that happened off camera.
No, literally the scariest thing about the Blair Witch Project was never caught on camera. And thank you to Carl Smallwood and the Fact Fiend YouTube channel for explaining this to me. What it was is the whole entire the scariest thing of the Blair Witch Project was during one of the scenes there was a woman walking down the forest. And what was supposed to happen was the camera was supposed to pan over and it was supposed to see this white ghostly like figure just out of frame. Like it was really fucking hard to see. But she was supposed to see it, scream, and
Mm,
then start running. But she saw it and didn't get the camera. So you never saw it. You just heard screaming and saw her running.
yeah, you was thinking it was something else.
Yeah.
Mm,
Which left it up to the imagination of the viewers, which actually played into it very well. If we're going to talk about. Alright,
it's,
if we're just going to move off of
it's got me
video games,
curious if the game.
if we're just going to.
Like I know we moved off of that, but that's got me curious if
If
the
we're gonna
game is
move
the
off
same
of
thing as the
games,
movie.
one of my favorite horror pieces, which I actually shared to the art corner of the Discord. I'll bring it up on stream now. Art corner. The Caretaker, Everywhere at the End of Time. That's one of my favorite horror pieces of all time. Do you know what that is, Scoob?
I'm listening.
I I was
I'm kind
asking
of zoned out right now.
I was asking if you knew what that was. But I shared
If I seen something about it, I'd probably remember if I did or not.
well the
You said you
Caretaker.
posted it in the art corner, right?
Yeah. The Caretaker, Everywhere at the End of Time, stages 1 through 6, it's like a 6.5 hour long video. Okay? Oh, it's not really a video.
Okay, then yeah, I'll watch it when I got enough time to watch it.
I'll just explain it to you right now.
'Cause right
It is,
now I'm about to relax and go to bed.
it's not a video, it's an experience. It's a musical experience of, fuck, I'm trying to remember. What's that one thing where like your memory is like your brain is slowly decaying and forgetting memories? Honestly, I can't remember what the fuck it's called.
Mm, that sounds familiar. That honestly sounds familiar.
I
Let
honestly,
me pull it up and watch a little bit of it,
either way, but it's
or listen to a little bit of it.
it's basically music but designed to be all about, to basically simulate what it's like to have that disease. Because, like, what happens at stage 1 is slowly over time the music gets more or further and further away from what it started. And, like, at stage 3 it turns into, like, some fucking Bioshock music. I'd play some for you right now on stream, everyone, but it's copyrighted material, of course. Thank you, Cog. Alzheimer's. Scoob.
Say what?
It's Alzheimer's. Cog's in chat. He just told me. Thank you, Cog.
Mm,
But yeah. It everywhere at the end of time is
hey,
basically
Cog.
an auditory form of Alzheimer's. You're gonna start slowly forgetting. And it's just gonna change. And it's fucking terrifying. Because, like, from an outsider's perspective,
And I don't want to even listen to it.
it's. Oh no. Like, you somewhat actually. Like, I would suggest actually listening to it. Not because, like, oh, it's really fucking scary. It's. It's not that I don't say. It's actually fucking beautiful. Like, it's some beautiful music. Like, stages 1 through 3 are beautiful. Like I said before, stage 1 is classical music. Stage 2 is a little. It's still basically classical music. Stage 3 feels like it's music ripped straight from the Bioshock series of games. And, right. But it's honestly beautiful. And, like, stage 6 and, like, towards the end of it is just static. It's fucking terrifying.
Now, okay, going back to games for like just a split second here, and then we can get back to what you were talking about.
Oh no, I was already finished.
Another like kind of well, another kind of horror related, like I could say genre in a way because it technically is its own kind of
Yeah.
genre of
Basically,
horror
we're just
gaming is VR horror.
VR. Did you say?
Is mm-hmm.
Mate, I know VR horror
VR
all
horror,
too.
VR
I
horror.
I can't say
Yeah.
I know VR horror all too well, but I feel like I kind of do. Because remember, when I played Resident Evil 7, I played that all in VR with 3D audio headsets or with 3D audio earbuds, and that actively scared the shit out of
Mm-hmm.
me because when I screamed like a bitch, it's because a vent fell behind me and an enemy spawned. Like, it just fell out of the vent. But I was looking straight forward and I heard that shit behind me and I screamed. I usually don't scream. I screamed like a little bitch. Like a little bitch baby.
Like there's some games in VR that are horror based that I actually would like to go and try out myself, but I do not have a VR system to be able to do that.
Why
That's
don't
my
you name
only
a
issue.
couple?
Like there's one I'm trying to think of.
I know, like I said before, the game I was
Why
saying,
can I not
the
think
game
of
I was saying
it?
before, Dagon, that's in VR. Honestly, it looks like it'd be absolutely beautiful to experience in VR, though. It's beautifully
Honestly, I would like
characterized.
to try Doom in VR.
No, you don't.
That looks actually pretty fun.
It it's not fun. I played Doom in VR. I have Doom in VR. It's not fun. Because Scoop, you know what's like one of the classic things in Doom in staying alive as a key to staying alive?
Now, are you talking about just in general, or like in the classic Doom?
Uh, I'm
'Cause if you're
talking
talking
like
about in general, it's
newer,
just the basic
modern,
overall
modern
running
Doom,
gun. Oh,
modern Dooms.
well, pretty much, yeah. Movement is the key there.
Yeah,
If you're talking
movement.
about newer, like most modern Dooms, movement and fast pace running gun style is the
With
way to go.
yeah, with Doom VFR, you play it with the proper VR controllers. You don't use a PlayStation controller. So you use the left controller. You basically have to hold down the trigger and throw a ball in order to move every single time while shooting with the other hand. And it's a lot.
I still would like to give it a try at least once to say that I've tried it once.
Yeah. Like it's not bad to experience, but it's definitely something you have to pace yourself.
Fucking, you just go flying around everywhere using the
It's definitely something you
controllers,
got.
and just shooting everything in sight.
Honestly, for me, if you
Uh,
want to get a workout, like if you want to get a workout but still play a good shooter, I would suggest playing a rail shooter in VR.
um, they done a Half-Life Alicization is what it's called. It's a VR game.
Yeah, Half-Life
That is one I
Alex.
definitely want to give a try.
But
Hmm.
like for me, I have one music based shooter called Pistol Whip downloaded to my PlayStation. Alright? It's a rail shooter.
Yep, I know that
That's
one.
a fucking workout and a half. And
Beat Saber is a workout and a half too. I've tried it in play on PlayStation VR.
yeah. But I know eventually fuck, I just realized. I was about to say, like, yeah, I could fucking pull up Pistol Whip to show Cog, like, one of the songs he listens to is actually in that game. But I'd have to hook up my VR and clear out a space to actually, play VR. And no, I ain't not doing that. Can't do that in the living room. Yeah, but fucking Pistol Whip's a
What
fucking
is the
workout.
fucking game I'm trying to find?
Like, the most I've played that game was maybe 30 minutes to an hour before I was just completely caked in sweat and tired. I was done for the day.
I do want to get a Quest though and play Resident Evil 4 in VR since they brought that to VR.
I'm sure Cog probably wants to as well.
There's a lot of games that are for VR that I want to try. Because there's Phasmo, there's Resident Evil 4, and there's like a handful of other games.
Alright. Now, I'm going to shift this. Don't worry, we're still technically sticking with the games aspect. It's not a game you'd be able to download on a console or anything. It's actually a phone app you can download. And you need to get like one of those little fucking VR helmets. Alright? But it's basically
I know, I think I know what you're talking about then.
a walkthrough of Chernobyl before and after the nuclear incident. And
Yep,
I
I
actually
knew
fucking love
exactly
that.
where you were going with that.
Yeah, because that shit's great. I love Chernobyl. Not literally. I love the horror of it. I don't. I don't
You
really
know,
appreciate anything else about this.
some indie developers actually done an indie game based off of Chernobyl.
50,000 people used to live here.
Mark
Goes down.
actually done a video. Mark actually done a
Yeah,
video on it. It's
I
like kind of
watched
like
that.
a containment.
I watched it. That's a good fucking video too. Like that's a good game. You're playing as
For a small indie developer like that, they done really well for it.
the story of that is you are playing as the first responder crew who are trying to seal and contain the Chernobyl power plant right after like the nuclear explosion so radiation doesn't continue to spread.
Right after all that happened.
Like I watched that and then Iron Lung
Yep.
right after it. Iron Lung, I can just go ahead and say you can skip that one. It wasn't much. Like it was nothing compared to
Okay,
the Chernobyl one.
I'm gonna go completely off of the video game topic here, and I'm gonna go more into like the creepypasta side
As long
of horror.
mate, we're just
Because
sticking to horror. We have gone
yeah,
from
just
video
in
games and
general
has
for right
moved to
now.
horror.
Well, I know we've been talking a lot about video games, but like I'm gonna kind of change it up here and kind of start talking about some like creepypasta stuff. Because like there's some creepypastas, some horror
Give
creepypastas
me
that
just
I
a
actually really like really well. That's been related to games
yeah.
and like that's been made into games. So, all right, I'll let you do your thing, and then I'll
Um,
talk more about it.
I'm just turning off the PlayStation because we're probably gonna talk, and that's going to
Okay,
be
turn
like the
back on
rest of the
again.
stream.
Gotcha.
And I'll probably just play CarX as just a fucking throwaway stream one day.
Mm, but yeah, some of the creepypastas that I've actually looked into and I actually like, or like Jeff the Killer and like Sonic.exe, which I was telling you about earlier, that actually got made into a game. Because originally that was a creepypasta that got made into a game.
One of the classics when it comes to creepypastas, and one of my personal favorite, Ben Drowned, is one of my personal favorites.
And that was based off of the original, I want to say
Ocarina
either
of Time,
Majora's Mask or Ocarina of Time.
or
I knew it was one of them two.
yeah, I feel like with Ben Drowned, even though it's based in one game, like both of those, Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, just kind of blend together extremely well for a story. Know what I mean?
Now, there's one
Especially with the
creepypasta
Happy Mask
that a lot
soundtrack.
of people were skeptical. Yep, that was exactly what I was about to get to. There was a lot of people that had a lot of skepticism over the creepy mask salesman, and just about I want to say 3 months ago, I read up about that, and that kind of threw me for a loop too. I'm just like, considering I don't
Well,
play Majora's Mask a lot,
the fucking
I
Happy
would
Mask
never think of that.
salesman's there, and he's kind of creepy. But yeah, there's trying to think of other just good general horror topics.
What was that freaking Smiley Dog? It
Oh,
was like another kind
Smile
of like
Dog.
Jeff the Killer themed
Smile Dog.
creepypasta.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Smile Dog.
Smile Dog is what
That
it was.
was you look at if you were sent the email containing the picture of Smile Dog, you would die in like the next 6 days or whatever. It was a phone or it was a Ring parody.
Yeah, I never understood that creepypasta.
It's basically you seen the Ring.
And then there
Cool.
was
Here's a
that
different
other
version.
one. There was another one based off of Jeff as well. It was like it's like a female version of him. I can't think of her name.
She goes after the horny boys.
But she no, like what it is the story behind her. Like Jeff ends up killing her family, so she takes revenge and plots revenge on him, and chases him around while he goes on this murder spree and tries to kill him.
Alright.
Like I said, I can't think of the fucking name of it.
I've personally I've never heard of
Been
it,
so
so I
long
can't
since
help
I've
you with
read up
it.
on it.
Oh fuck no. But I always loved good horror. Um, so one type of horror that I like. Now, I can't necessarily say like, oh, this is a big type of horror or anything like that. All right, is abandoned. Well, not necessarily abandoned places, but destroyed places. The perfect or my perfect way of describing that would be like the glowing sea in Fallout 4 of so, just an entire a mass extinction event.
Jane, Jane the Killer was the person I was trying to think of.
Okay, but as I was saying, uh, as I was saying before, one of my favorite things as a type of horror is mass extinction, and like you're one of and civilization just still continues to go on. And as I said before, like the perfect example, in my opinion, is the glowing sea in Fallout 4 of just mass extinction. Ugh. Well, anything else?
No, I've honestly kind of got what I wanted to talk about off my mind.
Honestly, I feel like that was a good point. Like the fucking crew stream was 30 minutes long. Exactly, and then we got this to wind down.
How long was this one?
I have no clue. Probably over an hour. No, hour and a half.
It wouldn't surprise me.
It wouldn't surprise me a fucking bit either. Alright, well, I would like to thank I would like to thank you all for watching in the future. I'd like to thank Cog for being the only person that joined in midstream. Hearts out to you. Love to you, Cog. I give
Oh, yeah.
special thanks to Scoob for joining me on this. As you can see in my Discord,
You
you
know
know,
what, man?
fucking check out his Twitch. He does stuff. I don't keep up with what games he plays. I'm sorry.
Dude, I've been playing just random games here lately.
Like I know Yingar fucking does.
I've just gotten back into playing the Modern Warfare games.
Oh, okay. I was about to say I know Yingar usually fucking streams.
Haven't streamed a bit.
I know Yingar usually fucking streams Rocket League. Like that's usually what he's streaming. Uh, well, you want to do any shoutouts, Scoob?
I'm good.
Just you want to do
Honestly,
any
you
shout
kind
outs
of done it for
besides
me.
what I've already done? Yeah. Go check him out on Twitch. Drop him a follow. Really helps him out. uh, Kuro's been. I don't even know what the fuck Kuro's been streaming. And our newest addition to the just stream links I've just been holding. Just why does it become like my Discord? It's just been a branching Discord. It's just like, hey, check out these other fucking people. But Divine's been playing a whole bunch of League and not sure if he still does Call of Duty Mobile videos. But yeah, check those people out. Check out Koga. Maybe since staying at his place, you're gonna be seeing a lot more of him in the background. Who knows? Maybe maybe he'll do a stream tonight just to feel like, hello there. Let him borrow my fucking camera. Thank
Well,
you.
it won't surprise me if you fucking done a Vanguard stream with him, playing
Uh,
Vanguard together.
we actually tried. Like, we tried playing Shinonuma together, and it just kept breaking every single time I logged in. Like, anytime we tried to do split screen, as soon as I pressed X,
Jesus.
it would try to log me in and then just freeze the game. So, if anything, I'm thinking we're probably gonna have to do that online.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's still the BS, but
it won't be the first time you've done it online. Me and you have done it online with fucking Cold War.
yeah, I imagine the servers are still gonna be just as shit though. Alright, well, either way,
Would it really surprise you though?
no, not at all. Either way, thank you everybody so much for watching. I already did my regular intro, just thanks to Scoop, check him out and all that.